Hey everyone, this is Isaac Bean from the NSI Food Pantry, and in partnership with the Columbus Department of Development, we've created this video to give you tips and tricks for when you're facing an eviction in Franklin County. Let's get started. If you're unsure of your ability to pay rent next month, first off, you are not alone. More than 1 in 5 Ohioans have expressed doubt on whether or not they're going to be able to cover rent next month. You are in good company, everybody is struggling right now, and there are resources out there to help. First, here's some things you can do before your rent is even due. Emergency rental assistance, made possible by the Federal CARES Act, can give eligible households up to 18 months of rent and utility assistance. If you are a renter in Franklin County who makes less than 80% of the area median income, which is about $50,000 a year for an individual, you are eligible to apply for this assistance. You can visit rentful614.com to find a list of all of the partner agencies in your area that is currently accepting new applications and still administering that assistance. Now, whether you're pursuing ERA funds, PRC funds, if you have a minor child in the home, or any other kind of assistance, try to keep your landlord in the loop if you can. Just knowing that there's something being done, that you're taking steps to proactively avoid an eviction process, can be a huge help in solving this outside of the courts rather than going to court in the first place. Here's what might happen if your rent is already past due. Once your rent is late, your landlord can serve you with a 3-day notice. Now, when you receive your notice, take a beat, be calm, and remember this is not an eviction notice. In Ohio, a court has to rule in favor of your landlord in order to force you from your home. This gives you 3 days to make a payment, come up with an alternative payment arrangement plan, or anything like that before an eviction complaint can even be filed with the court. Keep in mind that in Ohio, landlords do not have to accept late rent. So if you pay rent late, you may still be facing eviction. After those 3 days, an eviction complaint can be filed by your landlord. The court will schedule you a hearing date, usually within about 2 weeks of the filing, and all of that information will be mailed directly to your address, so be sure to be checking your mail. Now, if you choose to vacate your space within those 3 days before an eviction complaint is even filed, be sure to leave it in good condition and take pictures for documentation. When you return your key to your landlord, either request a receipt or have a witness present. Either way, even if you return your key, show up for your court date. Always, 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 if you receive a court hearing, go to it. If your eviction goes to court, always go to court, always go to court, always go to court. Going to court is stressful and intimidating, but if you don't show up to your hearing, you are guaranteed to not get what you need. Wake up early, get a cup of coffee, wear some nice clothes, and head in early. If you can, take some time to get prepared for court. Write a few notes to make sure that you don't forget anything that you want to say, and you can always bring a friend or a family member for help and support if you'd like. Once you arrive at court, you'll go through security and then up to the 11th floor. Once you reach the 11th floor, find the self-help resource desk. The social workers there can help provide verification of any pending application for rent assistance, get you connected with community mediation services or legal aid, and can help work with you and your landlord to develop an alternative payment plan to give you and any agency you might be working with a little bit more time to get the rent assistance processed and the money in the landlord's hands. Once you get signed in, you will wait for you and your landlord's name to be called up to meet the magistrate. They'll first ask if there's anything you'd like to say or you'd like to present. This is your opportunity to demonstrate any rent assistance that you have applied for or has been successfully administered, to prove that your landlord has a history of accepting rent assistance or late payments without any fuss, or anything else that you think might shed some light on your situation and help keep you in your unit. This is what happens after the magistrate has made their ruling. If an agreement was reached in court to make a payment by a certain day, make sure that you inform any agency that you're working with of those days and do everything in your power to meet those deadlines. If you and your landlord can't work out another agreement and a decision is made to evict, you will receive a red tag on your door. This generally indicates that you have about 5 days for you and your property to be vacated from the unit. But this is not the end of the story. The Federal CARES Act funding, the ERA rent assistance, is able to be applied towards first month's rent and deposit as well. So if you need to find a new unit, I would contact the Columbus Urban League and ask for their housing packet, and then you can find an affordable housing unit in the area that works for you. And once you secure a lease there, you can use that to apply for first month's rent, deposit, and up to 3 months of future rent for that unit. So big takeaway time. This is something a lot of Ohioans are dealing with right now. Financial struggle is the norm. It is nothing to be ashamed of. There are neighbors right beside you, and there are people here in your corner. Apply for assistance as early as you can, even before rent is due. Stay grounded and center self-care as you go through all of the assistance hurdles and you keep receiving notices from your landlord. Leave enough time to check in early, meet with the self-help desk, get all the resources you need without stressing yourself out. And remember, even if an eviction goes forward, it's not the end. There's assistance in getting help into a new unit, and you can work with legal aid to get that completely expunged from your record.